Yo, check it out. This is Shot 30 Podcast. I am Shane Newbert. And today I have two guests on the show, Mr. Ryleigh Clark and Mr. Jon Rumbold. And we just got done doing a little workout up in the garage. We were trying to get swole to look good for this podcast. And today, it's time for us just to rock it out. Hey boys, how you doing over there? We just worked out and I don't even care. We look good, can't you see? We look like a couple dudes that look like they're 33, but we're not 33 years old yet. We just wanna go work out and sweat. This is Shot 30 Podcast. We're working out and getting swole really fast. Couple boys in the garage, picking up some weights like we are just a mirage. Can't see us, we might not be real, but the one thing is true, we can really squeal when we pick up a heavy deadlift. When we pick it up, we pick it up really swift. That's right, we the boys, can't you see? We've been rocking out since we were like 23. Every day getting big. Every day working out. Every day yelling swig the beer and scream and shout. Haha, episode 46. Or maybe it's 47. I don't remember. I hope you enjoy the show. I don't know if that was good.
That's what's happening.
Yeah. I don't know. See, now you guys see, like, I don't really know what the fuck is going on when I say this shit.
I can't believe you.
Should I bleep shit on this episode too?
Well, I guess we should have talked about that before. But
should we bleep stuff?
Yeah, I mean, you can bleep any word, really.
So if I say I'm just gonna bleep all of that. And this is Shot 30 Podcast, and I am Shane Newbert, and I have two of my best friends in the world here. One, Paul Rudd's head on a little bottle, and wait, that's not one, that's three. I got Jon Rumbold here. Wave your hand.
What's up?
And I got Mr. Ryleigh Clark.
Thug Waffle.
He goes by Thug Waffle. He used to go by Blue Waffle, but things have changed and times have changed.
After that thing went viral.
Should I put a picture of Blue Waffle right here? Or I'll just attach a link to a Blue Waffle right there.
We don't need to show anyone my Blue Waffle.
And we just got done working out, dude. I'm going to tell you something first before you get too invested into this episode. Jon here has lost, almost 100 pounds.
Yeah.
Don't be modest. Almost 100 pounds, right?
Yeah.
270 down to...
We'll call it that.
Yeah, almost 100 pounds. And Ryleigh here has been a professional powerlifter, and he's...
Professional?
No, you were a professional powerlifter. It's weird, the classifications with powerlifting.
Powerlifting, yeah, anybody can be a professional, really.
Yeah, but you were okay.
There's different levels.
How about we go with if you don't feel comfortable with professional, we'll just say elite level powerlifter.
I would say, elite would be all right.
And so
nowhere near where you were.
Oh my God! Don't do all that. Don't do all that. And I just want to say, first of all, for the 2 pairs of Beats headphones, the little giveaway, all you have to do, it still counts for this one as well. Just leave a comment down below and just make sure you're subscribed to the page. And Shot 30 Podcast is sponsored by mrs.newbiescakesandcookies. Hey, these guys just saw what she's doing upstairs.
Pretty awesome.
She's putting her hands to work.
She's talented.
She's got a little beach scene up there.
And I thought those seashells were real seashells, but she made them out of chocolate.
And we'll put that picture right here.
Yeah.
And so I'll probably end up putting it like above your guys' head or something. But Mrs. Newbies Cakes and Cookies is taking orders, Easter orders at that, and St. Patty's Day orders, but you need to get them in soon. Visit Mrs. Newbies Cakes and Cookies on Facebook and Instagram today and get your beautiful shit.
And she made me a Dragon Ball Z birthday cake for my 28th birthday.
Oh, yeah.
And it was
awesome.
The coolest birthday really cake I've ever had, actually.
I forgot about that. And she had a lot of fun making that one, too. It was a good one. Because when she makes the designs for the stuff. Yeah, like she makes, like the
She made it
Goku.
on the cutout and then stuck it right in the cake of like a Super Saiyan Goku.
But, hey, I'm going to put these up, and I'm so happy to have both of you guys here.
Breaking the rules right now.
Oh, breaking the rules. This guy's on a strict diet.
0 carbs?
Yeah, it's 0 carbs, 0 sugar, only 90 calories. So.
That's pretty weird. That's
So
pretty
you're-
weird thing for you to say wearing a...
I know, right?
Crushing
Where's my
Kilos,
Crushing
crispy.
Kilos, Krispy Kreme inspired T-shirt.
Yeah, so for you to be like counting carbs while talking about that with a Krispy Kreme shirt on...
Very contradictory.
Funny, on my Facebook memories today was, I think 7 years ago that I was working at Krispy Kreme, and I worked the graveyard shift, making the donuts for the next morning. 9 to 6 a.m. almost every day.
So from 9
awesome.
p.m. to 6 a.m., how many donuts would you say that you probably consumed during that time?
Well, you got 2 dozen free.
A day?
Yeah,
A day?
dude, of their original. And I would just bring them home to the
Oh,
family.
my.
Oh my God!
And then,
Think about that though. If they're charging $1.20, I think it's $1.20 per donut. At least that's what it was
I don't
per
know.
solo donut,
okay.
just a plain glazed
It's
donut.
probably cheaper to buy it by the dozen, though.
So if they're giving you 2 dozen,
Of the
I mean, you got to
originals.
think that's probably worth like $1.50, like actual real money.
Of their cost.
Yeah.
But retail costs, I mean, that's like $10, $15 for 2 dozen original.
That's solid, dude. Krispy Kreme's got some real OGs out there.
So I worked at the one in Albuquerque, New Mexico, when I was going to school down there. We were just talking about how I had to say goodbye to you at that gym that you work at. Funny thing with that Krispy Kreme, though, the police department in Albuquerque got in a lot of trouble because this Krispy Kreme just opened, and they landed a helicopter in the parking lot to get Krispy Kreme donuts.
Are you serious?
That's a true
That's so
story.
badass, though.
It made the
Man.
news and everything.
Yeah, that's super badass.
They got in trouble for that, but I wasn't working that day. But man, it made.
Oh wait, that was
national-
why you were there.
Yeah,
Oh, so it was big news. It was. You were first hand there for it. I never knew this story.
man, I remember interviewing for that job too. Someone told me, I was young, and they're like, if you are ever interviewing for a job, tell them, you were like a middle linebacker in football, because you have to when you're a middle linebacker, you're kind of controlling
You're
almost
not wrong about this.
the whole defense. It's like if you don't have any experience being a manager, you can kind of tell people like, well, I
Yeah,
kind of help manage a football team.
dude, that's awesome. I never
And
even
I-
thought about that.
And I
Absolutely. Every time you interview,
For a
if you can bring up sports, you're in. Like, if anybody that's in power has a choice in the matter, if you're going to get hired or not, always tell them that you played some kind of sport. Doesn't matter what it is, even cheerleading.
What about ping pong?
Ping pong,
Task force.
if you can spin it, I mean,
I
if
can
you
spin anything.
man.
I'm a mastermind at spinning. You want to know who's a mastermind at spinning as well? Conspiracy Kimonos. Get your custom-made gi for jiu-jitsu today. Visit Conspiracy Kimonos on Facebook and Instagram. And you're not just going to spin. You're probably going to do a little choking. Ryleigh, you did some jiu-jitsu.
while I was in Albuquerque,
Dude, there's some
Spitting
Conspiracy Kimono. There's the gi itself back there on the wall, hung up.
Very nice.
I was a little guy back then too, maybe 180.
Oh, dude, you were ripped though. You were hot as hell.
Yeah.
That's before the beaters.
lightweight.
That's
That's
before
like-
the beaters and canned tuna started. Visit
I-
Conspiracy Kimonos on Facebook and Instagram today. Get your custom gi for jiu-jitsu. Dude, you have to talk
still-
about the
I
canned
still-
tuna.
Oh man, when I actually got salmonella from a can of tuna that had been sitting in my car.
No, I'm not letting him play this story up like it was one can of tuna. This guy would have like 10 cans of tuna and it'd be 100 degrees just sitting in his car for months. And he'd be like, oh, I guess I need some calories.
I gotta get some protein.
He'd
right,
run
so-
out
so I
and
gotta
eat
interject
cans of
here.
tuna that were like blown up, like they had
Oh,
bubbles on the
my.
top.
You just
Gotta
broke
get that.
every single rule. I actually got my degree in food industry management.
And tuna?
Oh,
Food
yeah,
industry
no, he actually
management.
did.
So like, and I actually worked at a food factory up in Wisconsin for 6 months.
Uh-huh.
And so I learned all about food safety, and man, you do not want to leave any kind of perishable in a can in your car. Seriously, people, do not do it. You will get sick.
I spent a
You'll
week
get
in the
so-
hospital.
So I just want to ask you, like, now the one thing I always think about is people just say things and they've never had experience. So have you eaten anything out of your car? Have you ever done anything like this?
I'm not going to say I have not ever done this. I've lucked out, and I'd say a lot of people luck out, but There's
You know, it's just like saying you should. It's like
that,
saying something like you shouldn't get AIDS to a person and you've never had them. You can't just do that.
So,
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm all the way kidding.
What?
Okay, no, I completely understand. So, like, what is? Can you like break it down? Like, what is really happening when?
So to break it down, basically, is
Let's go with Ryleigh's can of tuna.
Yeah, Ryleigh's can of tuna. So, going down the line, all these cans have to be sterilized, and after that, they go through a rinse cycle, and they're packed right away. If that can seal is not exactly to spec, any kind of microorganism can get in there and fester.
And just eat.
And just grow.
So, like a microorganism,
So
can you explain more to me because I'm not very educated?
So we're talking at the cellular level. I mean, we're talking like.
So we're talking like something is like actually eating it.
Actually eating it and multiplying and growing inside of the can.
So when you eat the tuna, that stuff goes into your body.
Yes.
And it starts eating inside your gut?
If you got a can that was defective.
For example.
So when you go to the supermarket and when you buy, I mean, even this can of beer.
I just want to let you know that was in my car for about 3 months.
Excellent.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, there we go. All right, but no, like you take any can and
blow up your bathroom again.
I can't quite do it with this, but basically you would take your thumb around the outer edge, and if your fingernail goes underneath of that can,
can you talk a little closer? I really like what you're saying.
If your fingernail goes anywhere on the inside of that lip of the can, do not buy it. Do not eat it.
It means it wasn't sealed.
It means it's not sealed right. And then there will be all kinds of stuff in there you do not want. And same goes with
I think I got sickle cell one time from that.
I don't know about sickle cell, but maybe something else. You could definitely get
I definitely
sick.
went to the doctor. I got sickle cell once.
For real.
No one ever believes me. They think that white people can't get sickle cell, but that's already been debunked. And I had it from tuna can once.
Okay.
No, that is wild. So,
then what happens when that tuna heats up in the car? And
so even
even
if you've got a properly sealed can, and this goes for bottles of water too.
I've heard this about water a lot.
Do not leave it in the car. I don't care if it's 70 degrees out. The sun will sit there, and it will get hotter than that 70 degrees, and things will start to grow, and things will start to
But what will happen to me? What will happen to me? Like,
the worst case scenario is what happened to him. You're going to get salmonella, which is like no joke. We always joke about
but you can only get that from salmon.
No.
Oh, you only can get that from Nilla wafers.
If you ever took home ec in school,
you get it from eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was just making a stupid joke. I didn't.
But like we always joke, about eating raw cookie dough that you're gonna get salmonella.
Oh yeah.
But
I heard that too.
So do you think that okay? So to bring this back onto kind of what we're gonna spend a lot of time talking about today. Oh, Jesus, we're already at like 15 minutes. It's wild. But could I get? Is it a higher chance for me to get like something like sickness or salmonella from like? I used to always, when I was powerlifting, drink egg whites and milk all the time. And I would just drink them raw. But I never once got sick from that. Is that like something...
That's because eggs are pasteurized.
Exactly.
So what does it mean to be pasteurized?
Do not do this with
mean
farm eggs. Like there's a lot of people that are...
Oh, you have to send them to the church?
Chickens now.
The ones that I was eating came through the church.
No. Pasteurized is
they heat the eggs up to like what 140 or something like that to cook out all the bad.
That was a pasture. That was a Pastor Dan joke.
Pastor, yeah, there it is.
Well,
no, I do think that is absolutely awesome because I never knew that. So we should, when we go upstairs, can we just like do it, like go through a couple cans?
Or let's just go like throw some cans out in the road and let them cook for a little bit.
There you go.
How fast would something like that happen? It's just the temperature.
Yeah. So if a can's not properly sealed,
what about cold?
It will happen within a matter of days. So usually it would be caught at the factory because there's what they call stable shelf life or shit life.
Okay.
Because you actually pack out all the goods on pallets, and then those pallets have to actually sit in the warehouse before they're allowed to ship it out.
I think this is the most you're the smartest person that's ever been on Shot 30 podcast. I'm just going to get that out of here.
Great from experience.
Jesus, that's wild. That's wild.
So
How many people get sick a year from that, do you think?
It's not as high as you would think because people are very picky.
Well, literally 33% of the room have gotten it.
I was in the minority.
He was in the minority, and again, keeping anything in your car like that, you got to be careful about.
That's wild.
I guess probiotics are really good for fighting bacteria in your gut too.
And so there's
tons of probiotics.
Here we go.
And some kombucha.
All right, so it is.
So this one has the least amount of carbs.
Okay.
I want you to try this.
All right.
So can I get drunk from kombucha?
Well, I hear they have 1 to 3% alcohol in them.
Yes. They actually do ferment.
Take a look at what's in there. That's called
SCOBY. I'm actually working on a fermentation project myself right now.
Oh?
What are you fermenting?
Well, you remember how I had this big Christmas party this past year?
Yeah.
Do you remember seeing the video of me dumping all the fruits and all the popsicles and pop and stuff? Well, that's still in the garage. And it's still about this
That's probably got a nice SCOBY going on it.
Dude, that's like 4,000 proof right now.
So basically, you're making swish out of popsicles.
We called it hooch.
Hooch.
Yeah, back in the day.
Look at the bottom.
All right, organic
Those
and
are
raw.
little chunks of mushroom. It's called SCOBY.
All right.
Dude, we're about to do shrooms on Shot 30 podcast.
There we go.
All right, cheers, puppies.
I got the orange.
Yours is orange juice. Why don't you give me the good one?
I'll trade you.
This
one has the most carbs.
Do you think I care about carbs? I'm a fat fuck. Oh.
Yeah. Tim Reed said you might not like that.
Ooh.
It's healthy. I can feel it working already.
Oh, dude, if the Kool-Aid guy, the oh yeah guy, had orange juice inside, I feel like that's what his jizz load would taste like.
So, funny story about kombucha. I actually bought
Is it kombucha or kombucha?
Kombucha.
Okay.
I bought a bottle one time. I left it in my mini fridge.
That's sour, dude.
Dude, this tastes like Gerber baby. This tastes like a Gerber baby.
You eat babies?
Well, I feel like if you were here, try that. Give that a sip.
Right, give it a sip.
Yeah, but doesn't it taste like if you were to eat like real food and then eat Gerber food, that'd be a Gerber drink?
Ew.
Doesn't it taste like it's a Gerber drink, dude?
It's worse than scorpions.
That tastes like
oh my god,
liquefied baby food.
I know, it 100% really does. I'll drink this.
God.
I can get by with this, though.
Yeah,
I can drink anything.
Never leave kombucha in
Your
a
car.
fridge or a freezer. I left it in my fridge, and it, broke. So it started getting colder. Like, it became like a freezer, and it exploded. Dude.
They're very carbonated.
Dude, kombucha everywhere.
So, wait, will they freeze?
They will freeze to a point. And then they explode because there's a little bit of there's a little bit of carbonation because of how it's made. All that
actually
stuff on the bottom.
Black tea that's been fermented with sugar and yeast, and then they let a mushroom grow on top of it. That's called SCOBY, and then that's what the little chunks are that are floating in the bottom.
See, that part I did not know. The one I had.
You should see a picture. Put a picture of SCOBY up right
there.
Right there, yeah.
Put a picture of
Wow,
SCOBY
look at the SCOBY, guys.
Put it up there. But I guess there's tons of benefits, tons of probiotics. There's also...
It's supposed to help you poop really good. I mean, I don't mean to sound like that.
I don't think I need help with that.
So listen, have you, I want to get this out there. Have you guys ever invited someone over to your home and then they just blow up your bathroom so bad that you can't use it? Well, this has happened. John?
It happened to me.
It happened to me. That didn't. You're not the victim here. I'm the
felt
victim.
So bad. I told you. I told you.
My bathroom smelled so bad. I was so worried that it was going to get in my wife's cake. Like the smell was going to be embedded in her cake.
It wasn't though.
It was a pre-workout. It was a pre-workout. I warned you. I had half a pre-workout before I got here. Also, I forgot to mention. I didn't want to tell you guys because I'm a little superstitious. But on my way in, the only ambulance of Mathersville was coming out of Mathersville as I was coming in.
I passed that
and that messed with my mind just a little bit when I was doing those deadlifts. I'm like, man,
don't you know I'm a
the
paramedic?
Only ambulance in town just left.
There's actually not there's not an ambulance in Mathersville.
Is that preemption?
Yeah, it goes like it's usually Viola's. but it just travels. So don't worry, it's never coming back.
That's my thought, though, is that I'm going to go lift this heavy weight and really get injured where I like need to be like carried out of here.
How did it feel to pick up?
How did it feel? Great. It
Dude,
felt really good.
I'm going to try to figure out if I can't put a video up in the middle right here, or maybe a clip. Maybe I can just put a clip.
Yeah.
I don't know. But there'll at least be some pictures. Dude, 250 pounds, right? Yeah. And, I mean,
First
smoke
time.
show. Just learning, like, just watching you learning
that
was...
form.
It was so mind-blowing to watch you. You failed the first time. Like, this is a new max, right?
Right. Oh, yeah.
And
it's
so
all new to me.
you failed the first time. You fixed everything. 5 seconds later, you pulled it. And so mentally... That was really cool. Like, really, it gave me jitters, I think. Like, kind of left me, what's the word I'm looking for? With goosebumps, I guess?
In awe?
Yeah, because just to watch
inspiring,
just to watch how you were mentally, I'm going to bleep this word, but
and then you got out of your own mind space.
And then
told
smoked
yourself
it.
You could do it. It was easy.
So much of this diet and working out has been just getting out of my own mind.
Mm-hmm.
And just telling myself to actually like celebrate in the moment too.
I can't
like,
believe how far you
to just
came.
get over it. Like sitting here like not good enough, not hitting hard enough, not lifting enough weight, not making sure that my diet is absolutely
kind of get
dialed
addicted,
in.
Mm-hmm. But the one thing too is I think a lot with working out and diet, it isn't about it is about full commitment, but it's also about if you slip up, that happens. It's about getting back on the train.
Exactly.
Because you can slip up a million times. You can get hurt a million different ways. I mean,
you can have bad workouts too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had some terrible workouts where I was like, man, I woke up late. I got to get to work on time. I've got 45 minutes to get something in. Just do something.
He works out early too.
And people have to realize too, like, and myself, I know I used to powerlift, I used to do this and that, but like now where I'm in this state where I'm like, I'm always busy. I'm always busy with the college, with work, with the podcast, with stand-up, with all those things. I'm always busy. But just me rolling out of bed and doing 25 sit-ups, it changes your mindset throughout the rest of the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like, I mean, I could like...
It's good to start your day accomplishing something.
For me, a morning workout is so much more meaningful than a night workout for that reason alone, just because I got it done. I went and I did something for my health. You know?
I'll even take it down to a much more minuscule level where I'm just switching arms when I'm doing extracurricular activities, just because I want my other arm to look a little bit...
I mean, one's the mom, one's, the daughter.
18-year-old daughter.
What's the other's
Yeah, they're both of age, though. Okay,
yeah.
And they're not my own family.
That's the main thing,
Wow.
Just had to get that out there.
Oh, and we left that cup there right beside you for a reason. It's washed. It's washed now.
Right.
But it still looks like it's got some questions there. But you can go ahead and fill it up and drink out of that if you would like.
Yeah,
it foams up really fast. Ryleigh, I do want to talk to you a little bit about just some of the stuff from the past. Anybody who listens to this know I don't really talk about the powerlifting stuff much, but I think it'd be cool just to kind of talk about a little bit of the stuff that we used to do, and I'd like to hear it from your perspective.
I think we were kind of on the topic of like old jobs that we used to have. Like back in the day, I was working at a restaurant and I was just working 4 hours a day. What was it, like 6 to 10 o'clock at night?
But I think that you should give the idea, and with your permission, I'd like to put the before picture of what you looked like. Skin and bones. Just how small.
Which picture do you got?
I have a handful. But when you were like you were working out, then you stopped all the way, and then you were just skin and bones, dude.
College Ryleigh.
And that's when I saw you again. And we used to work out. We used to be close. And then when he disappeared and came back, I was like, "What has happened to my friend?" I was just looking at half of my friend because the other half was gone.
The muscular half.
Yeah.
Oh man, college, that was rough for me. I drinking alcohol does kind of diminish your gains, especially if you're binge drinking like I was in college.
And you weren't even working out. You weren't doing anything.
Wasn't
you were living the party
out,
life.
Wasn't eating.
You should have seen what I looked like when I started this journey again for the 5th time, by the way.
To lose weight?
To lose weight and to get in shape. Like
his was to gain
stop.
weight. That's crazy because it's complete opposite. His was to gain weight. He went from, you had to be 160, 70 pounds.
Put that picture up. And it was bad.
And then he went up to 200, 220, 230.
Well, 230 now.
Because we were eating so much. But then you are on the complete other track here. This is a really cool concept. Like,
I got up
we passed each other just like recently.
Yeah, just recently. Going opposite directions, opposite goals.
That is wild because I've done, I used to do bodybuilding, and I'm gonna put a hot picture of me right here with abs.
Yeah.
Wow, look at those abs, guys.
Look at that sexy piece
right
dude,
there, point at it. Look at it. Dang. Poke it.
I can't figure this out. Yours.
It is really hard to figure out this. Like, okay, there we go. But
actually, I think I got this shirt from one of our first powerlifting meets.
Yeah.
2015?
I feel like it would have been a little bit before that.
Those are the best T-shirts, though. The ones that you have a good memory with.
Oh, yeah.
You can still fit in. Or lose weight like I have and fit in that shirt again.
Yeah, that's
it's an
super
awesome feeling.
Ryleigh's got a whole blanket at his house made out of all of his powerlifting shirts.
I think it was like when I was considering giving up lifting, I was like, just take all these shirts, put them in a blanket as a memorial of what I used to do.
Yeah. And it is cool. Dude, for people who don't know, Ryleigh used to deadlift over 600 pounds, squat way over 700 pounds,
almost got that
bench almost 500 pounds. Like he was at 220, 198. Like
I got really, really sick.
And should we talk about that?
Yeah. Well, I sent you some pictures.
I'm not gonna pull them up now.
Graphic.
But we're gonna post them. They're gonna be
they're
just gonna be right across here.
Yeah.
He got really sick when we were powerlifting.
I have a history of heartburn, and then it kind of runs in my family. My dad has pre-Barrett's esophagus from just heartburn eating up your esophagus.
I have sickle cell, so I understand.
But I was taking some seltzer tablets, I think is what they're called, but I never realized I have 300 milligrams of aspirin in them.
Oh.
Just eating your stomach alive.
Yep.
And I would take 3 a day, so I'm almost getting a gram of aspirin in my system every day, and it just gave me the worst ulcer.
Yep.
And you're also a guy who eats canned tuna that's been in your car for months at a time.
Yeah,
you sickle.
can't be doing
Drinking whiskey right from the bottle, that didn't help the ulcer. And
so it was just turned into a bloodbath the night it finally gave. Now it ruptured, correct?
It actually just ate a hole. It almost cut my esophagus from my stomach.
Yeah, and so when you started puking, that's how it came out, right? The blood through your mouth?
I ended up getting 9 blood transfusions.
Yeah, so it would have came out of your mouth and your nose, I'm assuming?
I don't know if it came out of my nose.
The blood was pouring out so much it had to have.
And it was just a fountain of blood, and oh man, my wife came in, saw me just passed out.
Oh, dude. I remember when I got... When I was told about it, remember so when we started like talking and being like real close again when we reconnected, do you remember when your wife told me that you were sick, like something was wrong? She rushed you to the hospital again, and she goes, I don't know if something. And literally, me and Timmery were in the car about an hour, and then they're like,
that was like last year,
and then they were like, he just has gas.
No, it was food poisoning.
I thought it was gas.
But I was like in tears. I was like, I don't want to throw up blood again. Yeah, dude, she walked in on me. I just had thrown up blood. She called 911 and
if you're comfortable, I'm going to leave the pictures up the whole time.
Okay.
Because it is a horror scene.
I got 4 pictures.
It looks like my wife after she goes on her period, dude.
It was almost that bad.
That's what she does when my wife goes on her period. She just gets in the bathtub and it's just blood everywhere. She's like a sprinkler.
There was blood everywhere. And I told my wife that I'm good. I got a towel. I started wiping up the blood, and I was like, "Tell the ambulance I don't need them." After just throwing up blood,
stupid.
And then I puked blood again and passed out. And the the dispatcher was like, no, we're sending someone no matter what he says. I pass out. She's hit me on the face to wake me up.
Oh, dude, you're so lucky you're not dead. Just the amount of blood you lost.
Well, when I got to the hospital, they told my wife.
What's 9 pints? Is that like 2 gallons?
9, I don't know.
9 pints has to be like 2 gallons.
They said it was like 75% of my blood.
Yeah,
and,
that's a lot.
They told my wife to call my family so I could tell them goodbye.
Damn.
Yeah.
Jeez.
They were like, they rushed me to the local hospital, and they're like, we're not equipped to save him.
You should have started a GoFundMe.
Yeah, just started GoFundMe on the
I need to get my
ambulance.
I need to get my gains back.
You know what? I got an idea. Hey, I'm starting a GoFundMe for Ryleigh from like 3 years ago. Hey,
it took me
donate.
like 2 years to pay that medical bill.
Did you have insurance?
Yeah.
Isn't it wild how fucked you can be if you don't have insurance?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's devastating.
Still kind of screwed because I had like a HSA, so I had to meet that like minimum amount. Which was,
What's your minimum amount? A couple thousand?
back then? I think it was 6,000.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it keeps going up every year.
I got
too.
I got something different now.
My gut surgery, my you know, when my ordeal happened not so long ago. Well, shit, my tit thing. Dude, my tit thing.
What's the tit thing?
Tell 'em
Well,
about the
I had
tit
sickle
thing.
cell, and it had infected my breast.
Growing up boob.
Okay, I didn't. This
You're
is not the
growing a
sickle cell.
third boob?
No, something was going wrong
not
with my
that cool, then.
with my left breast, where my boob was discharging blood. This is just this is 2 years ago. Like I was hurting, and it was just like blood was leaking out of me. My whole arm, like I could barely move my arm. And finally, dude, I had to get a mammogram. I had to get a mammogram where I put my titty, and I was fat, really fat then.
Yeah.
But I had to put my titty in this thing, and it mushed it down. I was like, man, I really feel like a man right now. And they were doing, they found lumps and stuff. They thought I had breast cancer. They thought I was the 0.1% of guys.
Too. Like, you need to get yourself checked.
They explained it. They had me going through this whole ringer. And turned out I had a blocked, infected lymph node in my armpit that was literally the size of a half of a baseball. But that's why it was pushing on my nerve that goes through my arm, and then also creating a blockage because lymph nodes pump out white and red blood cells to stop the infection. And that's why it was coming out of the first gland that it would anywhere it could just find anyway. If I would have had a pimple or something, it would have discharged out of there as well. But yeah, so they had ran me through all these tests, and then finally it wasn't breast cancer, thank God. But yeah, I just had...
Did you get surgery on that?
Well, it was like really cool because I thought it was like Kool-Aid, like a Kool-Aid boob, and so I would just like shoot it up and I drink a little bit. Did I have? I had stuff done to it where they were like scraping and this and that. That's why I was so weak. Remember
That's why he was so weak.
I started like lifting again, but I couldn't press with this side because it had shut down. Like even like nutrients to, I don't know the terminology. The nutrients to my muscle tissue wasn't happening on this side because it wasn't even able to pump anything through.
It was actually a transition gone bad.
Yeah. I got the dick chopped off. But then the breast implants they couldn't do because I had Kool-Aid titties. And
here he is now.
You guys want to suck on him? Oh.
He's like, I'm just going to get fat and grow fat titties instead.
Yeah, fat titties. You're going to come on my show and you're going to fucking insult me like this? You're going to call them fat titties? Are you even on the camera right now? You're hiding behind John as you insult me.
Dude, we all got fat titties.
And people say this show's about nothing. The audacity. Hey, you want to know what's not about nothing? Have you ever heard of Handmade by Haley?
I have heard of Handmade by Haley.
See this beautiful sign here? That's 69 back there. We have some signs upstairs. That is made by the beautiful hands of Haley Paxton coming out of Kewanee, Illinois. She's got a business. It's front door pickup. She does great work, all seasonal stuff too. So like if you want something for Easter, you should get something. If you want something for your lady, oh dude, like what better way than support a local business? Handmade by Haley coming out of Kewanee, Illinois. Visit them on Facebook. They got a Facebook page. She makes beautiful stuff. And her boyfriend's the hottest guy I've ever met.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually got a sign from Handmade by Haley.
You do? The truck!
Oh, one more sign. Actually, a sign that John probably needs. It's
oh my
4.5 stars. And underneath it says, wood poop here again.
Damn. For real?
Yeah, I got it in my bathroom.
That's legit. I feel like I should have one that says like 9.5 inches.
There you go.
If you count from the butthole.
Are you measuring from the gooch?
No, that's part of my sickle cell anemia.
Okay.
That's how high his deadlifts get off the ground.
Damn. You calling me Stumpy, boy? You calling me Stumpy over there? Okay. So I know I had a couple other things that I want to talk about, but the very most important thing about this conversation is the fact that you've heard me talk about it before. And this is something that's super close to my heart, and I just want to make sure it's very clear. I am the here. I guess I'll just.
I'm just like, where are you going?
I wish I had a button to
this.
it.
Oh no.
John, could you hand me that right there behind you?
The what?
The Mario.
The Mario? Oh no.
Dude, there's gonna be a handful of people that know you're actually lying.
No, people know I'm telling the truth because they know that what you're going to try to do on this. I am the Mario Kart champion of the world, and I've played Ryleigh a million times.
Babe, remember last time we played him?
Yeah, I whooped you, both of you. I have an all-time record against Ryleigh, who claims to be the best Mario Kart player in the world. I have an all-time record of like 200 and 100.
I was on PCP.
Yeah. You were trying to play on your PC while I was beating your ass on the Switch. But I am the Mario Kart champion of the world, and I need some credit now. Who has the better record, Ryleigh? Just say it.
I mean,
I'll post it. So just go ahead and admit.
I mean, that record includes you beating Jenna.
Just go. Oh, so you're gonna throw your wife under the rug like that, dude? You guys find out a lot about this guy's character real fast here.
Let's go play some Moo Moo Meadows right now.
You want to go play some Madden?
No. I haven't played Madden since the
like
Great Flood in my basement in 2019.
I think the last time we played Madden, the score is 66-6.
I remember.
My
mother-in-law was there.
I
was getting spanked in front of my mother-in-law.
You were trying to tell me that she was playing, and she's like, "I'm not playing. He sucks."
She felt so bad. She felt so bad that I lost, and she blamed herself. And was like, "I'm bad. I'm bad at Madden."
Your mother-in-law got a Mrs. Newbie's cake. Remember that?
For Steve.
Oh, no, the pink one. The 60?
Oh, she did. And that was her nicest cake that she's ever got, too, is what she said.
Oh, my God. It was
delicious.
And Steve got a cake, right? Was it Steve?
He just got a chocolate cake.
No, who got the one with the toolbox?
Her brother, Jason.
Dude, you've dabbled in Mrs. Newbies.
Well, and then I got... And then I got all those cupcakes. I got all those cupcakes and her cookies.
Oh my God! Remember when she was making them and you were taste testing?
I'm trying to remember some. I love
the Oreo.
Cupcakes.
Remember the Oreo? The Cinnamon Toast Crunch ones?
Marshmallow.
That
was one of the best.
When she was trying to figure out how to make the specific frosting, because everything she makes,
frosting.
She makes
it's
everything
all homemade.
Yeah. And so she's been doing trial and run for a while, but I've been doing some trial and run on her too, if you know what I mean.
No.
Yeah, it's trial and then I leave. I leave her a lot. But I always come back because that's sweet, sweet cream, baby.
It is delicious cream. You should try some of that marshmallow frosting.
Anybody need a refresher?
Drink break.
You know who doesn't need a refresher? Have you guys ever needed a male escort?
Oh, that'd be awesome, actually.
Oh, would be just some
for Sunday night,
like a spotter. If you ever just need a spotter,
absolutely.
What's Saturday or Sunday night?
That's the night he's calling Jermone Lovely, coming out of the Quad City, Chicago area. Jermone Lovely is bringing you a male escort service, and a lot of people mistaken it with prostitution, but it's not that. It's escortitution, where you just look into the eyes of another man and know that you're just going to have a fun night. It doesn't include sex. Like, it just disturbs me when people think that. Like, what if I should have a male escort just come do a podcast with me?
There you go.
Here we go.
See, that's like what we're doing.
Our shirts.
That's what we're doing. It's just, just like hanging out with your buddies.
Mike night. It's just somebody to hang out with.
Yes, it is. Thank you for being the first person to ever think clearly about Jermone Lovely.
And sleep with.
What happens at the end of the night is up to you.
Yeah. See, like, you could fall in love with somebody even though they're working. Just...
Yeah. Just out having a good time, man.
Just because somebody's upstairs making cupcakes doesn't mean that I can't stuff the cake, you know? All right, visit Jerome. I almost said Mrs. Newbies. Visit Jermone Lovely on Facebook today and get yourself a male escort in the Quad City, Chicago area. Whew, that was a mouthful.
That was a mouthful.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh God.
What? Oh God, what?
You're just talking about how it's not sexual, and then you say it's a mouthful.
No, a mouthful of words.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Get your mind out of the gutter, Riley. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, so
Two big bears in here. It's tough to not be in the gutter.
Okay, so John, I did want to talk to you about what your goals are moving forward, and after you've hit like a goal, like a target area where you were thinking.
Yeah. So my goal is to have abs. I've never had abs in my life. I've always had a gut.
You almost have abs right now.
I almost have
you
abs
have
now.
to
They're
build up
starting to come in.
I truly do believe that you need to start doing weighted core exercises.
Absolutely.
Because what you're doing right now is you're shrinking. You're shrinking so small, but you have to build those muscles in order, to have big biceps.
Right.
Weight loss is one thing, but now, like,
You've
I
got
think
to do the work. You've got to do those core exercises that are not fun. I mean, you just got to do it.
There's one Riley probably knows. Do you know my favorite core exercise?
Putting your hands over your head and getting punched in the stomach.
No, normally it was putting my hands over my head and bending over. Riley, Jesus. No, I like to do penguins, where I hold a dumbbell. Yeah, it's called penguins.
You do those almost every day.
Every day. But like the thing is that it did for me is that when I got so big, I have huge obliques, like even like
obliques,
whatever you want to call them.
Love handles.
Love handles. Oh, that's what they're called.
Okay.
But like I built up so big that I got wider because that muscle got so much bigger, but it tightened my core so much. And it made it like more allowable to get abs faster. But I think if you put a little bit more weight on it, when you're doing anything, just medicine ball, go to a heavier medicine ball, and dude, you'll have abs in no time. Yeah. You're so skinny right now at this point. Like,
yeah, they're starting to come through. My goal weight is 200 pounds and 12% body fat.
And so you're 17 pounds away and 1% body fat?
About 3% away body fat. But still, I mean, that's not. It's going to take me about the same amount of time it took me to get to this point, but it is doable.
Mm-hmm. And Riley, what is your worst powerlifting memory?
Ooh, I bombed out of a couple meets.
Dude, you bombed out because you got in your own head and you try to be like an ego guy.
Yeah,
you're not an ego guy anymore, but like. I remember one time you were bombing out and you kept raising your number.
Wait, yeah, I was missing the lift and I'd go up and wait and miss it again and go up and wait. I don't know. I thought I deserved a record or something. But then there was that meet when I tore my calf muscle, and that was some of the worst pain I've ever had.
Like you don't think that bombing out's pretty like kind of embarrassing. It is.
I just bombed out, and then I just started drinking heavily that day.
What were you drinking? Kombucha?
Red Bull vodkas.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I get like really sad, I just drink I put tuna cans in the back of my car, let it heat up a lot, and then I just drink the juice. Yeah. Not the Jews. Why would you say that?
No, the juice.
I think I have two favorite powerlifting meets, though. Rum was definitely one. I mean, I didn't have to make my squat jump go from 650 straight to 700. I could have placed higher if I would have just made a conservative squat jump from 650 to 675. I missed a 700.
I'll never forget Rum. I wish we would have been closer when Rum happened.
Dude, you drove down to Rum. Mm-hmm. That had to take a lot out of you there.
I will just tell this story because I don't really have a problem with it. Me and a group of people went to Rum in a car.
Where is Rum exactly?
Florida. It was a Florida, so it was like a 17-hour trip.
Okay.
And I'm getting ready for the biggest meet of my life with the top level lifters in the world. And
Larry Wheels.
Oh, really?
Was there? Yeah.
Beat him.
Yeah.
Beat him.
Yeah.
No big deal.
I did. But
For reps.
actually, he even bombed out that mean. I remember.
That's why you beat him.
I was stronger than him at that point. He's way stronger than me now, but I was stronger than him at that point. He had a way bigger bench, but I had a way bigger.
But you were driving down.
Yeah, so like I got, I was like super upset because I got down to the meet, and I don't mean to make this sound like this is about me, but it was like this is the biggest meet of my life, and people are like, let's go to Disney, like the people I'm with, let's go on the beach and spend the day on the beach. I can't do that. I have a weight cut that I have to make. I have like all these things, and so I wanted to spend the whole time. It was 2 days before we had gotten there. I had to make a weight cut the day before, and then the day of. So I didn't want to spend time having fun. It wasn't about fun. It was a powerlifting meet, the biggest in the world.
You had one goal in mind, and you were getting ready for that one goal.
And like they made me feel like shit. One person didn't. They understood, but the other people I was with, they didn't understand like why I was so frustrated with. I can't go to McDonald's right now. Yeah. Like, I understand.
Oh, yeah. I completely get that.
We should have been closer
that's
back
where
then,
I'm at right now with this diet.
We just laid around and ate.
And then I had to make an 18-pound weight cut that day before. And so I had taken Lasix. I was weighing at about 260 pounds the day before the meet. And so what I did was because I had to make 242, I locked myself in the bathroom at the hotel. And I clogged every opening under the door with towels, and that's when Kyle Keogh kept bringing over his scale for me. He was very nice, and I turned the shower on all the way hot, and sat there and just sweat. I sweat for I think 8 or 9 hours in a row.
You have to do that. Have you ever heard of putting Epsom salt in a bath, like a really hot bath?
Did you
gonna tell me to go back in time and figure out about Epsom salt?
So that's how I would lose a lot of weight.
There's this thing, I haven't read much on it, but I've heard of it. They go to a steam or sweat lodge, and you trip out naturally.
You have to realize that at this same time, they had the car. They were off at Disneyland. They had everything.
So you're in the bathroom, locked in the bathroom. Could possibly pass out from what you're doing, and they're off at Disney World.
I was at the point where I was crying too. I was just shivering. And so you want to know what I weighed in at? I started off 260. I needed to make 242 the next day. Next morning, I walked in, weighed in just my underwear. I weighed in at 235.
There was this one time we did a meet in Kentucky, and I was doing the same thing you were doing, steam in the bathroom, and it actually set the fire alarm off in the entire hotel.
Oh yeah.
It was so fogged up in the bathroom, I could not see anything in the bathroom. I'd put because at a hotel room, they have unlimited
some
heat.
Music going or
no, nothing. It was just pure miserable. And I didn't have unlimited data.
That's dangerous.
That's
have like that guy at the gym that's working out and he doesn't have headphones on. It scares me.
Oh my god! Did you remember the guy? Do you remember the guy at the ZYZZ?
Mm-hmm, that's how he died. Was in a sauna.
Do you know who that is?
No, I don't.
Oh, dude, best bod in the world.
He's we're gonna make it, bro.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Best bod in the world.
Yeah,
that's how he died. They said it was a heart condition, but
he pushed himself too hard.
I don't know. I know that
know your limits, people. Seriously, not saying don't push yourself, but know what your limits are.
If I were to compete again, I don't think I would do a weight cut.
I mean, if it's a couple pounds, you got to know that's okay. But when you're talking you're making your body go from one huge amount of weight to a lower amount of weight, a very large difference in a very short period of time.
Very short period.
And
that's 10% of your body weight that you're trying to cut off.
Dude, I remember sometimes just the shaking. I'd go to the weigh-ins. The one, oh my god, do you remember? I think I had deja vu about this exact moment right now. Do you remember the one time where and he puked multiple times weighing in, and and then he's like, then they're like, everybody get out of here.
We were all in the room watching everyone weigh in, and then they're like...
This one guy did not make his weight cut, but he was a big name, and he kept making himself puke right in front of everybody. And then they're like, everybody get out of here right now.
And then he miraculously made weight.
Oh, 1 pound under. I've never seen somebody puke a pound after they've already puked twice, but you never know.
That's hardcore, man.
No,
yeah.
that's just... That's just having friends in low places.
Yeah, like Paul Rudd.
Yeah, like Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd was looking out for him that day.
Shooter of Jim Beam.
Did you like lifting heavy weight today? I know you're mostly doing
I absolutely love it.
Circuits.
I'm honestly I look up to you guys. I'm extremely jealous that you guys have even had the opportunity to lift that much weight.
We only had the opportunity because we pushed each other.
Exactly, but that's why I keep telling you, I wish we would have met sooner because I'm much more passionate about lifting weights than I ever was sports in general. Like, if there was a sport that I'm obsessed with, it's bodybuilding, it's powerlifting. Like, being able to push your body to its limit, not whether you win a game against your opponent. It's you against you. It's pushing your body to exactly its peak.
If you see
it's physically capable.
If you see a new striation in your muscle, you did that.
Yeah.
If you see a 5-pound gain in a bench, you did that. You know, I think the crazy thing is, and I know that you can truly speak on this too, is we didn't just lift. We were studying it. We were constantly studying it. We would learn from anybody. I know I was traveling everywhere throughout the Midwest to learn from Chris Hickson, Pete Rubish, Ernie,
and as you're
Byron.
naming these people, it's crazy that when we started powerlifting, these guys were our idols.
And then start passing them.
Well, I don't know about passing them,
but
just
some of them,
side by side with some of those.
Oh yeah, that was like when we saw Dan Green the first time. Imagine the very first time you saw Dan Green.
Dude,
you know who Dan Green is. You definitely know. You don't have to say but you do know.
Yeah, he's right there.
Yeah, Dan Green.
There's Dan.
Yeah, there he is.
I remember the first time I met Pete Rubish, man. I was fangirling so hard. I was actually warming up at a UPA
Talking about blueberry lemonade, remember that?
I was warming up, and I didn't push the weights all the way to the end of the bar, and he came up kind of angry at me, lifted the bar up, threw another plate on.
Dude,
I was like, I am out of my element. That dude's pulling almost 800 pounds.
But you had to think, dude, we spent hours and hours and hours every night watching Pete Rubish deadlift.
And there he is.
And so do you remember when I went and lifted with him?
You got some good pictures with him.
So we have a video. It's like 30,000 views on YouTube right now of me and Pete Rubish lifting together. So I don't know if me and him are lifting, and this guy's pulling like 700 pounds, just doing some odd end deadlift. Like, it was like the coolest thing ever. Like, we're just talking about stupid shit. We're just talking about KFC chicken.
I was going to say, we weren't just worshiping his lifts. We were worshiping his diet. Some of his best videos are his food reviews.
Yeah.
I'm like, if Pete Rubish is going to drink root beer chocolate milk, I'm going to drink root beer chocolate milk.
If Pete Rubish is going to eat 700 Starbursts before he works out, I'm going to eat 700 Starbursts. We were fanboys to him, and then there we are just standing beside him. And I remember watching him bomb out of a meet. He bombed. And he was trying to deadlift 800 pounds in that meet, but he bombed out of the meet. He couldn't get it. And I just remember, he's a real person. Looking at him he's a real person. He fails. It's powerlifting's just as hard for him as it is for me, you. It's just on a different level. He's done it for forever.
Absolutely.
He's pushed his body to the max, and now he's frustrated because he can't get it. And that was really good for me mentally, just to see him fail. Not, and I don't mean that in a negative way, just to me,
that he's human. He's not a god. He's not Super Saiyan.
He just lifts just like us.
Normal guy, just like ananybody else. Pushing himself to the absolute limit.
But I remember watching that dude deadlift 700 in his basement with a washer and dryer right beside him.
Running in the background.
Dude, he shattered the floor. You'd see concrete just float. And then you hear his mom Pete, damn it, you need to get your ass upstairs. Talk shit now. They're like, we're going to have to put down a quick layer of cement and sell the house real fast because this mother...
The foundation's been ruined.
Yeah, that was
the structural integrity of the house is in question.
But the thing is, you can sign up for a powerlifting meet and actually see some of these people, lift right in front of you.
Yeah,
if you're at the right meet, you can see some of these monsters squat 9 to 1,000 pounds.
I feel like it's a little unfair though. They get people bust their ass, their life, and all this stuff for this sport that gives nothing back. There's no money. There's no publicity.
There's no reward on the other end of it, and there's almost an
Where's your rewards?
anti workout or anti,
That's what you got to show for it.
What's the word I'm looking for? There's almost this anti-culture of making your body at its absolute peak, or being fit. There's this anti-fit kind of movement out there. People get obsessed of, it's all about how many beers they can crush, or eating a large pizza, going out, doing whatever they want to do. I mean, you do you, but don't hate on the guy that's out there just crushing it.
I see what you're saying now. I pick
pushing
up on
himself to have this body image that he's going for.
I do though. I can 100% tell you, as real as I can possibly make this, I do know that when you start powerlifting, you start deadlifting and benching and bodybuilding and doing these things, you put I would say 85% of the people are look at me nonstop. Just look at me. I was that way. Look at what I'm doing. Look at what, and you become so self-consumed because you know what you want your body to look like. How you want to be perceived, and you just become so obsessed with look at me, that you forget, other people can have that opinion. What you look like doesn't matter. Or right. It's just you get so beat into your own mind. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm saying it right. But you become self-obsessed. And I know I was that way. That's the way. But I didn't feel like I was when I was doing it.
Right.
But I'm here, look at this. Just taking a picture. Yeah. I'm going to take a picture with a kid. I'm going to flex my arm. Why would I flex my arm if I'm taking a picture with a kid?
Yeah.
What am I thinking?
That part, yeah, I definitely get. You have to have an obsession to get to that level.
Yeah, I know, but I see both sides.
But you can't I don't know how to describe
it. The thing is,
I can't let it consume you.
But it does.
But it
does.
It definitely does.
That's the problem. Even on a minuscule level, it starts to consume you. All these types of things, they consume you. If you become if you fall in love,
those numbers, man.
Yeah,
it's you get a tunnel vision.
I'm gonna just start putting numbers up all over the screen to describe.
All you see is that next number. You think you'll be happy with a 500-pound deadlift, but you were preparing, you're gonna hit that 500 and be like, I need 6.
When you were preparing for a meet, how many times was it just okay, if I hit 315 and then hit 675 and then hit 405, well, what if I miss 405, hit 410? Well, then what if I hit 390 pounds? And then you just completely are just adding these numbers together, what your total will be. There's 9 billion
numbers in your head.
That's what it was. When I was working, I would had this job where I would sit in a room smaller than this and would not see people for 8 hours. Not even hear a person's voice for 8 hours, not do anything, just sit here. Not do anything on a computer, not have a phone, not have a magazine, and I would just start writing numbers. It was just numbers. And then I'd get off work and be like, Ryleigh, if I hit 415 tomorrow and then hit 715 on the next day, and then, it was just numbers, and it would drive you insane.
Yeah, I get the numbers part. That's me with my diet right now. I am
body fat percentage.
I am obsessed with it. I make sure that every morning I wake up, I go to the bathroom, and then I dry weight myself right there with just underwear on.
Every day.
Do you ever just take the underwear off just to look at yourself?
I mean, sometimes.
You ever weighed in naked?
Wait, at a real meet? Yeah, I did once.
I did too at a UPA meet, and they just have that curtain where if you can
I did once because I thought I was supposed to. Because I didn't know, because everyone else was doing it.
Some kind of TSA search or something?
No, everybody else was doing it. This is one of the first meets.
Everybody else was doing it.
Well, no, the first 4 people before me were all naked. I was like, I have to be naked for this? And I did it. I was walked in, I was like, and the guy's like, you're 5 pounds under. And I was like, okay. And he's like, why are you naked?
At least he was polite enough to tell you.
Yeah, I didn't know.
He wasn't just, admiring your
There
body.
was one meet where I was like, less than a pound over, and I was like, I'll take my underwear off, and they're like, you're good. Just keep them on.
I one time I thought about, remember how long my hair...
0.2 pounds.
You remember how long my hair was? I thought about shaving my hair. I had a long
I've been there.
pony. I thought about shaving my hair off.
You had the brony.
Oh, dude. It was...
Blonde.
I dyed it blonde on top. And it was long. I shaved the whole side. Oh, it was... But it was before the man bun was, like, really a thing.
It was pretty bad beef.
So you started the man bun.
Yeah. Oh, no. That's when I shaved it off. I shaved it off for that meat right there. That's rum right there.
Do you have a picture with it?
In that book right there, I would have a picture. Okay. That one's full. But I have a picture with the long hair. This is all just stand up and podcast and friends. Yeah.
Recent stuff.
Yeah. I'm squeezing some boobies right there. I look good here. This is what it looked like right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I don't know. We steady rocked over an hour. If you guys have anything else you want to get off your chest, you can. But I'm going to say real quick, please, if you've made it this far, make sure you enter in the contest by being subscribed to the page. And also, if you're listening on any of the podcast apps, give it a 5-star. Just give it a review. Give the Facebook page a review. We're on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, CastBox, YouTube. We're everywhere. We're taking over the world. This little Shot 30 podcast train. We're running a train on me. So if you want to run a train on me, just go ahead and leave a comment below. And this is Shot 30 Podcast. And make sure you enter the giveaway. That is Jon Rumbold. That is Ryleigh Clark. We're going to do a little deadlift thing every once in a while here. And we're going to, or even squat, bench, anything, whatever.
I like deadlifting here.
Or even just like a little
deadlift.
Or even just doing like a little athletic day, some stuff like that. It's just nice to be with some friends. Yeah, tackle football, anal sex, anything like that. But I think that's it, right? You guys cool with that?
I kind of had this like topic of just haters kind of in the back of my head because.
Oh, dude, we can get on that.
There
we can get on that
now it's
because we're
real.
talking about powerlifting. I mean, even powerlifters would get haters, if your squat's not to depth or if you didn't lock out.
I saw that. I saw that. He took the shot, the money shot.
Yeah. Didn't lock out a deadlift or have soft knees, but then you get them in every little niche. You can get them for podcasting. I mean,
I get them from podcasting.
People will judge you no matter what you're doing. There's always going to be someone out there judging what you do.
I'm judging myself.
I was going to say,
I'm constantly in my head when I'm on my diet right now. Like, I'm sitting here like, man.
And I'm sure there's
It's not like judging yourself like that, though. The real bad one is like when people are judging you in a way that doesn't affect them in any way whatsoever.
But
like
they gotta have something to say.
They gotta have something to say, and sometimes it could really mess with a person. Like if you're telling someone, go kill yourself. These
don't know what you're actually saying to that person. Someone might actually take that to heart.
Even constructive criticism, like you just need to like stop yourself and think about, okay, this is how it sounds in my head, but how is that other person going to take this? Like, is this going to help them or hurt them?
I really think about, too, if you have to be in that place, what I feel, I don't mean to say this in a way that sounds demeaning, but I really feel bad for that person because for some reason, the very first thing you're jumping to is beating down someone who's having a good time. Like, I just go back to the video I posted, like the scorpion eating one. And people are mad at me for doing that.
It's like if you don't like it, you don't have to say anything.
The only person who should be mad at me is like a bug activist. Like, like
we get that.
Somebody who says like bug lives matter. Like that's, I understand if you were to say, why would you eat that? Like, I understand that. But to say all you want is attention. Everybody in life does something for attention. Yeah. It doesn't matter. If you're good at something and you show it, or if you're happy. Like, if you have a picture of your wife and kids and you love them so much and you want to post a picture, it's for attention. Like, we forget that. Like,
and people get haters.
You love your dog. Too. You love your dog, Hunter.
Yeah, people say his name on the podcast.
Oh, shit, my bad. Man. But, like, you post a picture of him, right? Because you love him.
But people will hate on that, too, saying, they post so many pictures that
But like, if you post a picture of you and your dog playing fetch or a video, and they'll be like, "Oh, this guy would beat his dog when the cameras are off." Like, what the fuck? You don't even know him.
Or like, they're not actually happy in real life. Like,
but I did see your dog did not want its bowl of food the other day.
Those aren't your dogs.
Those aren't my dogs.
Oh, well, that dog did not want its bowl of food.
I was actually dog sitting for a coworker.
You said release, and it did not release.
No.
We can get off that.
I tried, It's, they're both 2 German Shepherds. Boy is like 5-6 months. Girl is about 8 months old.
I have a German Shepherd right out there. His name's Walter Payton.
They're getting to that age of teenage years, and they get, they're a little rebellious.
Kind of like the mother and daughter thing.
Even though I'm putting this delicious food in front of you, like, nah, I'm not going to listen to what you're saying right now.
Yeah, it's kind of like the mother-daughter thing like we talked about earlier. You freaking weirdos.
Yeah.
You guys got anything else? Otherwise, I'm turning it off. We will be back on here. If you guys are cool with it, I mean, this is super smooth.
Deadlift parties.
Yeah, I feel like we could keep talking forever, but we should save some of it for the next time.
Yeah, it's right at my time limit because the wife's ready to spank me and do some BDSM. This is Shot 30 Podcast. That's Ryleigh Clark. That's Jon Rumbold. Do you want them to follow any of your weight farm? Or
yeah, I mean, if you want to look me up, I'm on Instagram, and I also made a Facebook page. The Instagram page is more active. Weight farm. Look me up.
Ryleigh's Thug Waffle.
Yeah, Thug Waffle _
You can also find him under Google search Blue Waffle. This is Shot 30 Podcast. I'm Shea Newbert. I'm thankful for you guys being here. I don't really know why I said that so weird. Love you guys.
Love you.
Thanks.
Look at how red my cheeks are.
Testicles.
Why are my cheeks so red?
It's all that alcohol.
God damn, look at his chin line. John, you're such a handsome ass. Why did I get the angle where I look like a fat...
You just need a beard trim. You gotta go to your boy.
Dude.
In Kiwani.
Dude, both of you guys. Yeah.
Buttery blends.
Buttery blends. You gotta go to Buttery Blends.
I think